dialed up. I go by B Selecta. I'm going to be your good music provider for the evening or the afternoon. And I am here, and I am honored to be here for many, many reasons. It is my privilege to bring out this next amazing woman. She is a boss babe, she is a mama, and she also happens to be one of my best friends. Ladies, please give me a big, warm welcome for the host of this evening, Miss Melissa Lenberg.
Hi there. How is everybody doing? Good. I couldn't be more excited to be with you guys today, and I want to thank you all so much for coming and supporting me. You guys don't know how much it means to me. See, I started Citrine 7 years ago. I opened it in Phoenix, Arizona, but it all really started right here for me in LA. I moved to LA when I was 18 years old to pursue my career in makeup artistry. I worked in amazing fun things. On sets, doing music videos, all kinds of stuff. But my own personal health was really suffering, okay? So I was looking for ways to heal myself. I really got into natural and organic foods, supplements, but I didn't realize what I was putting on my skin, okay? And so fast forward years now, I make that revelation that what I'm putting on my body is actually not good for me. So I was so inspired, I made the switch to natural cosmetics. I was so inspired that I knew that I needed to share this with other people. And I opened Citrine back in Phoenix. I went home, okay? So Citrine is different than a lot of other stores in that I don't carry hundreds of brands, and I never will. And there's a reason for this. I not only want products to be super efficacious, to have beautiful packaging, because you know that's important for the gram, you know? But I want to connect with founders that share that same passion that I do. It's very important to me. And so I couldn't be happier to have some of the panelists that we have with us here today. So, should we welcome our first panelist? Yeah. So, this woman, she is the most amazing skin chef. She is a mom, a businesswoman, and I am so excited that she is here with us today. So ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome May Lindstrom.
You belong among the wildflowers. You belong in a boat out at sea.
Thanks for being here, May.
Oh boy, there's a lot of you. And I'm quiet.
Oh, technical difficulty.
It's not difficult. I can
Okay, now we're going to welcome our second panelist. You guys know her. She shares so much of her own personal health and wellness journey with us on Instagram every day. When she's not here in LA, she's over in France developing her next latest and greatest skincare product. I want you guys to welcome the founder of Agent Nateur, Jenna Cavello. And for our final panelist, I'm really excited because this is a husband and wife team, which, you know, that's one thing in itself, so good for them. They're really doing it. And they're revolutionizing the organic hair care industry. I want you guys to give a warm welcome for the founders of Innersense Organic Beauty, Greg and Joanne Starkman. Hello? Okay. So I really wanted this to be a panel for the people, but I have a few questions that I would love to ask our lovely panelists first. So I'm going to ask those questions, and why I'm doing that, if you guys have questions that you want to ask, kind of have them in mind, because we will be taking your questions after. So this is a question for all of you. With green beauty on such a rise, what are some ways that you really strive to stay innovative? May, I'll let you go first.
I don't know if this is on yet. Oh, yeah, it is. All right. This is always a funny one. People ask me this, and you also all know I don't make new things kind of ever. Like every 3 years or so. So that's a funny one for me, because for me, my greatest innovation has been going backwards. It's been going back in time. It's going back to what we innately know. It's going to the things that our planet has provided from day one. It's the plants and the minerals and the spices and the herbs and the plant medicine that really has built me and my skin and my own development within my own conditions and healing, and our collection. So I'm not really trying to innovate, frankly. I just want to give you something really good. Sorry, Melissa.
You're just innovative, period. It's fine.
Yeah. No, like, I'm a witchy woman. I'm just doing what witchy women have done since forever. I made it pretty. You're welcome. And I have access to the best ingredients in the world. What I can do that women before me couldn't do is I don't have to count on what's in my village, what I can reach, what comes before I reach the river and can't go any further. I can source the best ingredients from every corner of the earth. And we know so much more. Our access to information is so much deeper. Plant medicine has been around forever, but now we have so many teachers. There's so much wisdom out there, and I can learn not just from my generation, but from those that came before. So I'm not doing anything new. I'm just doing it better.
And Jenna?
Is this on? Okay. So for me, it's always an intuitive process. I just release what I'd like to make for myself. So, for my eye serum, for example, the fires were really bad in 2017 and 2018, and nothing was hydrating under my eyes, and I would leave LA, and the lines would go away. And as soon as I came back to this dry weather, my eyes would get wrinkly again, so I'm like, I need to formulate something. So it's really something that comes from the heart. And I think that's the way I'm able to give it to you guys, because I'm able to explain it from a very honest, pure place. And then, of course, my ingredients as well. I usually work with a lab in Switzerland who has anti-aging ingredients for green beauty, and it's the highest quality. So, for example, my hyaluronic acid, I could buy it for 1/6 of the price from another country, but I get the best quality and the absolute best that you can find, and I don't cut that down when I bring it to production.
Awesome. And Greg and Joanne?
I definitely look to Greg, I think, for innovation. He's like Mr.
Okay, I'm the hair care geek.
Well, yeah, and the funny thing is he's like technology. He's always got the latest and greatest, and I'm still like, if something of mine breaks, like it would be stay broken, and then he goes and gets new innovation for me. So I have to give him credit for that. I would say definitely I could totally just take what May said and wrap it up in a totally different package, because I'm a witchy hairdresser. And so for me, innovation is really about, and what Innersense for me was founded on, and the seed that I planted so many years ago was just the idea to support women and support stylists to connect in a deeper way with their hair, because I look at hair as one of our most magical sensory systems on our body. And so I think in terms of the idea of hair care as a health practice, and what we use on our hair and on our body just supports us in a holistic way. And so, I think of hair being in our crown chakra. It's our crown and glory, right? And I really want women to fall in love with their hair, because think about it. I mean, we can all think of times when it's a love-hate relationship, right? I mean, we talk about hair as like, our worst enemy. And guess what? We're doing it in front of the mirror when we're standing there styling our hair. And we're talking bad about ourselves. And I saw it for years working with clients in my chair day in and day out. And also hairstylists. Hairstylists have a challenge. They work in front of a mirror. And they're therapists. They're caring for people. And so I really wanted to create a brand that was going to support the caregivers out there. And so we're all caregivers in one way or another. We're mothers, we're sisters, we're friends, we're we're people that are caring for one another. And so I just, I think of my innovation as, I hope that when you guys have a bottle of my hair care, that you're thinking in a bigger way. You're thinking about connecting with yourself, connecting with your hair, and supporting one another. So that's kind of my innovation. It's definitely not technical. When I think of innovation, I'm going backwards. I'm bringing it back to like what is truly best for yourself, because what's best for me is not going to be best for you. And so I hope that you guys can all connect, or think in terms of connecting with your hair in a little bit deeper way.
So,
Anything to
okay,
add?
hit back to the hair geek. No, I'm really passionate about hair, and I'm really passionate about really harnessing the power and purity and emolliencies of ingredients that really provide amazing health and nutrition to the hair. Because when the hair is at its healthiest, it's actually its shiniest, it's more vivacious and voluminous, and these are things that I really focus on when I'm developing products. And of course, we really take a lead from skincare, because in the manner in which we curate and process our ingredients are very much similar to that of fine skin and body care. It's really important. I will say this because a lot of people don't really think of hair care as being an important piece. But hair care is, in my opinion, is equally as important as clean skin care, because your scalp, believe it or not, wants to be one of the healthiest areas of your body. And we just by default use very inexpensive, cheap, or very expensive products that contain really astringent ingredients, stripping the natural emollient oils off of your scalp, and that's what induces a lot of skin and scalp conditions. So what I want to do is really work on promoting products or developing products that promote health of the scalp through nutrition, and then also amazing just hydration and nutrition without utilizing petrochemicals, resins, silicones, plasticizers, microplastics. All of these things are just loaded, especially in hair care. Last thing, when you talk about innovation, gosh, I'm working with some amazing ingredients that provide fixative benefits. We just introduced our dry shampoo, which is a foam to powder. If you haven't seen it and you love dry shampoo, it's completely off the charts. It's just fantastic. And so anyway, come on over and play with us a little bit later. Okay.
Yes, you must
Hair
stop by
geek
their
out.
booth. Yes. I feel like, you know, asking that question, I guess, now is kind of a little bit, because it is true, right? We go back to our roots. This isn't the typical beauty industry, right? So our answers aren't going to be the same as we were sitting up here with conventional products. So I love all those answers so much. So the last question I have for all of you, because this is the clean and green beauty industry. Wellness is so important, and we're all busy entrepreneurs, and we're moving around and doing things every day. How do you practice wellness and self-care in your daily routine?
Well, I think you guys know the answer. I wash my face. And that sounds really, really simple, but for me, it's become the most important practice of my day. It is the bookend of my day. If I start my day from a place of love and connection and touch with myself, and I end it that day, what happens in the middle washes out. And there's a lot that happens in the middle. I've got 2 kids. I'm running a business. We're growing really fast. I'm obsessive about everything. And I'm a little bit of a workaholic, and I'm really committed to getting things right. And so I'm hard on myself. And having those moments where I can stop and pause, and it's not about product. It's not even really what I look like. At the end of it, that's all bonus. It's about taking that time to literally just touch, to just feel, to pause, and to breathe, and to smell, and to see texture and color and scent, and take me back through history, through time, feeling that. Sometimes my only connection to the earth is the literal earth that's in my bottles. It's that minerals. And I grew up an hour outside a town of 800 people in northern Minnesota. Like, I am a country girl. And I live in a big city. And to me, the ability to reconnect to myself, to my roots, to our ancestors, to my past and my future through this touch is vital. So 30 seconds, you can give it all you've got. 30 minutes, what a treat. Doesn't really happen. So, but these little, it is the really little bookends of the day that make the difference for me. I don't meditate, that's my meditation.
Okay, that was really beautiful, by the way. So for me, I think self-care starts with making sure that your mental health is on track, right? Because so many of us are up and down, and we can have a good day, we can have a bad day, we can be sad, we can be happy, we can be depressed. Some of us can even feel suicidal at times. So for me, it's really taking care of myself through my diet, because I have stage 4 endometriosis, I have adenomyosis, I have a fibroid, so I have to be very, very strict with my diet, but that also helps my mind feel better as well by cutting out the gluten, the sugar, the grains, the dairy. And I make sure my team at work is doing that as well, so that they're helping me put these beautiful products out, but I want them to feel good as well, and I want my team to be happy. And so for me, it comes back to diet. Another way is through meditation. I have to meditate like every day of my life just to be able to calm down, and there's so many ways you can do that. For me, I love the meditation. I do that with Jenna, who works with me. We sometimes start our day every day over the phone together, doing the for 15 minutes, which literally can make you feel high if you really stick it out. Is my microphone still working? It is, right? And then the other ways are, I think, that term like self-care kind of annoys me and kind of feels cheesy, but when I'm putting my body oil on in my shower and I'm like lathering it on, I'm like, wow, this is a really beautiful experience and feels really good. So in terms of the product, that's one way I practice self-care. And also just, like May said, just like taking that 1 minute to breathe and just to calm down and to get really present, to not focus on the past or the future. One thing that really helps me if I'm having a very anxious day or if I'm feeling depressed or sad, there's this thing that you can do where you say 5 things out loud that you see, 4 things that you hear, what's 3 things that you can touch, and that just gets you to be back in the present moment so fast, and it just calms everything down. You guys have to try it. It actually really works.
Well, I'm definitely a bit of a self-care junkie, to be honest with you. I kind of sometimes take it to an extreme.
We call her Beyonce.
He has kind of adopted that in the last year. I don't know how I feel about that, but I noticed your back. You have cupping marks. Like, there is not any self-care ritual that I will not try, that I do not book, that I do not absolutely love. I
cupped myself.
Oh, did you?
My friend cupped me, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, and there, people are doing it at home now.
Yeah, we do it at home.
Yeah. I love
it. It's a $30 kit on Amazon.
It's
you
easy
buy
to
and
do,
cup yourself
right?
where you have pain.
No, it's awesome. I think it's so cool. I love the idea that, well, I don't know if you guys know this, but next Wednesday is National Self-Care Day, I think, yeah. And so I've been kind of reflecting on self-care the last week because I've been writing a blog on it. And so it's interesting because that day happens to be my mother's birthday. Oh my gosh, I get emotional sometimes. I miss my mom. She passed away in 2003. She was, and I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I have a daughter that has special needs, and my mom was my biggest advocate when my daughter was born. It was like the wheels came off, and it was like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to raise a child with special needs? And that's really what launched Innersense. But I think the thing about it is I realized, I was scared because it was like, oh my God, I'm going to be a caregiver the rest of my life. And I realized as a hairstylist, I was already a caregiver. And so I really had to step back and take in the idea that when you're a caregiver, self-care is a non-negotiable need. And I saw my mom raised 5 children, and she was the most caring, loving women, and she soaked her feet all the time. She was the biggest proponent of, this was back in the day when there were no places where you would go to get pedicures or whatever, and she'd get her Epsom salt. She was a kindergarten teacher, right? And she was like, Joanne, if you take care of your feet will take care of you. And she was always into like good shoes and just the idea, and she would make, like her other thing that I reflected on was she would like always want to bake cookies because she loved to sit down at night and have a cup of tea and a cookie and just like enjoy that. And so I think I learned a lot. She was very selfless. But I did, reflecting back now, I did learn a lot of self-care practices for her. So again, I don't think it's what it is, because I think it's going to be individual for each person, and there's so many things out there. For me, I loved what Lynn said May said about like just being present. Like self-care is really self-love. It's synonymous. It goes hand in hand. And so anytime we can be present and be in touch with ourselves, that's self-care, regardless of what you're doing, whether you're putting lotion on your body, whether you're soaking your feet, whether you're getting cupped, whether
Buying things on Amazon.
Buying things on Amazon, exactly, right? Beyonce. So anyway, thank you for letting me share that and get a little emotional with it, because it's a very deep, motherhood is a very deep thing for me, for sure. So.
Joanne does all of her self-care.
Yeah. And you know what? The other thing too, we meditated together this morning, so that was very beautiful. And we don't get the opportunity a lot of times to do that, but when we're away and on the road and don't have the hustle and bustle of the family life and all that kind of stuff, so that was those moments are special. I'm not going to lie and say that it happens every single morning and we're religious with things, but I definitely do feel like we weave things in, and what's right for me is not always going to be right for Greg. He loves the Peloton. I love to walk in nature, so we have different lanes, but when we can do something like that, it's pretty magical.
Yeah, it is magical.
Babe, wherever you're at, my husband's around here somewhere. We need to start meditating together, okay?
I was going to say,
I have a meditation practice for you, girl. I can't discuss it up here.
We're going to get it.
This is TMI. My son always says, Mom, you're like a TMI ticking time bomb. So I'm going to tell him. He just told me that. So ask me later what that meditation is.
Audience, this is on you to ask her about this in the
And
Q&A,
I will tell you, but it's probably
we're not missing this.
Yeah.
This is happening in this room.
Oh yeah, it's one you gotta know.
You can't hint at that.
Yeah.
I'll be in the car.
No, I didn't get permission from Greg beforehand, so it's not something I can have sidebars.
Okay, we'll share later. It'll be on a blog later. It's fine.
Our PR people are going.
Yeah. I have handlers.
That's why I didn't bring my husband.
Citrine ladies, are we coming in here? We're gonna let these people ask some questions. Oh, there you are, Steph. I like, there's a whole room of people here. So we want to open it up so you guys can start asking questions. She's going to grab a wireless mic because that's just easier. Brief tutorial. Okay. If you guys have a question, I want you to raise your hand. I don't want you to be shy. This is your panel. Ask the questions.
Thank you so much for being with us today. I'm so excited about this event. So I guess my question is more about need versus demand. Obviously, the green movement, it's shown that it's generally a movement. It's not a trend. It's not going anywhere. But with that, I'm kind of curious how you guys choose to launch your products and where, because there's a need everywhere for people to have access to green beauty, but the demand may not be there yet, the awareness may not be there yet. So how do you go about educating consumers who may not know they need green beauty yet in their life?
Instagram.
Yeah, do you need yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, what's really driving this consumer space is social media, really, beauty influencers. Really, we owe so much to the Melissas of the world who really have become so passionate and informed. They're informing massive communities, and it's just growing. And of course, like any emerging consumer trend, there becomes everybody wants to play in the space. And of course, you know, you've heard the term greenwashing, and now we're starting to see a huge trend towards clean washing. You know, the most insulting thing is Sephora coming out with Clean at Sephora. It is an absolute insult to every person who is absolutely committed to developing products that meet the high standards that consumers of a high expectation for purity and clean come to expect and require. So I think with that, you know, I know for us, when we introduce a product, it's about being mindful for what it is and why we're bringing it to marketplace, and to meet a need that we see within our collection, and not just to just throw products out there. And that's why our line is pretty tight. As we serve not only beauty and wellness professionals, salons, spas all over the world, but also consumers who are becoming more and more aware of course, what clean hair care is about. So our mission, and I think, you know, just to kind of, I think all of our missions is about educating and empowering. I think that that's why the power of social media, digital, all of that has become so important to us, because it's given us a voice, otherwise drowned out by so much misinformation out there. I honor you all for being here, because you know what, 5 years ago, we would have probably had maybe 10% of this room filled. So it's absolutely amazing when you see so many passionate women who are becoming their own advocates to making better, healthier, cleaner choices, not only in everything you do from a dietary point of view, but in the area of self-care. So anyway, I'll shut up.
Can I touch on that for a second? Because what stood out to me actually was the word accessibility. And I want to talk about that really frankly, because we're all at a price point that's above most people's accessibility. And I think that's a really important conversation to have. And the way in which I create, and I believe the way in which Jenna creates, and the way in which you guys create, it's small batch, it's crazy, incredibly well-sourced ingredients that we pay 10x for. And so that reflects in your dollar that you pay and that you invest in. I mean, it's direct. I pay 10x here, you pay 10x here. That's how it goes. And that can't happen across the board. So when you walk into a Walgreens and there's green products now, and there's legitimate green products in there. There's like, you know, cocoa butter and shea butter and some masks that are totally clean, and they're a tenth of the price. My purpose is not to make skincare that everybody can access, because I can't do it in the way that we do. I make it down the street here in LA, fresh, through our doors, sourcing the best ingredients in the world. I can't cut prices any further without cutting quality. It's not possible. If I do, I'm a different brand. However, what I think my job is, my role is to create a ripple, to get you all talking about it, to show that it can be done, to show that these ingredients matter, that having them be fresh matters. There's a birthday on every bottle of my products. You can see exactly when it was made. You know exactly when to use it. Not because it's gonna go bad, but because it's fresh, it's alive, it's vibrant, it's like vegetables and you wanna eat them fresh. This, to me, is my mission, is to get everybody to have the conversation. And through having the conversation, we start to pay attention to sourcing. Our farmers come back. There becomes a demand for people to actually grow these ingredients, and for there to be conscious sourcing, and for this to be a real thing. If it's a trend, if it's a moment, it's flash in the pan and it's gone. Our purpose in staying around and doing it right, even if it's at a price point that barely anyone can touch, is to get that message out there, is to create a platform, is to create this conversation. And for those of you who can make that investment, you will see the change in your skin. And for everyone else, it will inspire you to go home and make better choices at Walgreens, at Target, at Walmart, wherever you happen to shop. Amazon, right? There are better choices at all price points for all people. But you're only gonna talk about it if we're talking about it.
I want to add to that also, because if you go into Neiman Marcus, let's say, and you look at the brand Sicily, who's selling a product for $400, okay? It's filled with toxic ingredients, and it literally costs them $3 to make. What May and I could charge for our prices, I don't know your price point, but what we could charge is literally probably a fifth of what we charge if you look at what's being charged in the store, what the markup actually is, because we're sourcing these incredible high quality ingredients. My vitamin C powder, for example, if you take that bottle of vitamin C, somebody else's bottle of vitamin C could usually has 1 to 5% actual vitamin C in it. You can take my bottle of vitamin C and fill 100 bottles of somebody else's serum. So when somebody tells me that $120 is expensive, I'm like, well, you're buying this serum here for $200 and it only has 1 to 5% vitamin C in it. Or if you're going, to one of these department stores and you see these prices, just know you're paying for marketing dollars. Whereas someone like us, we're producing this by hand in LA. I'm also in-house as well. And it's a fraction of what you'd actually pay from someone who's basically charging you for their ads that are all over the world. So that's something that really you have to take into account. And also, we are the innovators, and we are the ones inspiring the brands that are going into Walgreens who are saying that they're green. That's coming from us.
And from
So
you.
from you having an interest in it, because there's a demand, then it will be more accessible to more people as we continue to evolve.
I'm going to add something. So, I started 7 years ago, and this industry wasn't like it is today. And I think that it is so much about getting the word out there and social media. I mean, I'm just looking at this room, and it's kind of surreal to me because I'm not a big corporate store. This is me. This is my team. These are my people. That's it. I don't have other people under me. These are the people that pack your orders, everything. So it's about social media. It's about getting the word out there. For you guys to even talk about this with your family and friends and creating that ripple effect, I think is super, super important. So
I want to add one more thing. Green beauty, the ingredients that we get and the way that technology has advanced, there is no reason to not use green beauty. They work better than synthetic ingredients because they're not irritating your skin and disrupting your hormones. And there's a lot of clinicals behind green beauty ingredients now that prove that they work and that they're more effective than these toxic ingredients.
Okay, do we have another question? Right there? Right here? Nope, she's right here. She's like, I'll just stand up so you can see me.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask you guys, I'm new to green beauty and actually recycling in the environment and saving the planet. And do you have ideas for how you might be able to introduce your products in a way that it's more of a refill instead of a replace? And do you already do that? And could you share that with us?
That's a complicated one. We get asked that a lot, like every week, multiple times. And so it's something that I give a ton of thought to. And the answer is it's really complicated because to do a refill, so traditionally refills have to come in some sort of a packaging too, right? So they'll come in some sort of a packet, which is either paper, which is the best because it's recyclable and sustainable, but you can't put any kind of oils in there, obviously. I have 2 powder-based products. They're incredibly messy. They're messy in the best of circumstances, and they're worth it in the best of circumstances. But if I were to ship a packet of powder to someone and count on them to pour it into the bottle, I would have a lot of angry customers making giant messes of their bathrooms. Part of what they're paying for is packaging. And on the other side of that, refills for oils, plastic degrades oils, plastic degrades plants. So there's not a good solution yet in terms of refill packets, the actual refill packaging. And then even if we've explored doing recycling programs with our bottles and jars, which I would love to be able to do. And the problem is, again, it's sanitation, and there's a lot of regulation around sanitation, as there should be. And for us to take back a bottle that has been shipped around the world, had all kinds of people's hands and skin all over it, and then to come back to us to sanitize it in a resellable condition that you as the second, third, fifth, 60th recipient of that glass is getting the same quality, no chips, no breaks, no damage to it. It's really hard to control. The amount of QC and the amount of shipping around the world counters every effort for what we would get for recycling that one piece of glass. So instead, there are recycling programs you can look into. Your government site, depending on which city you're in, there are different regulations around recycling. And so sometimes you have to do a little bit of extra work to find out exactly how your items need to be recycled, which is true not just for skincare and hair care, but for, your snack bags. Like, there are options for almost everything under the sun now, but you have to actually take ownership of doing it. As a brand, I can't do that for you in a way that respects hygiene and the planet simultaneously, yet. I'm not done trying.
Yeah, so the first thing I was going to say was it's not sanitary, but you already explained that. For me, so I started with deodorant, and it is in a plastic container, but 98% of the rest of my line is in glass. And I'm just waiting for technology to evolve to something like bamboo. So as soon as that becomes available, I will make the switch from a plastic deodorant container. They have some cardboard containers, but then it's plastic inside. And then also the cardboard kind of like melts, and then it goes against your underarm, and it gives me like chills, and I don't like the feeling of it. So yeah, and yeah, for us to take back those containers, it's just not sanitary. It's not something. It wouldn't be fair to the next customer to receive that as well when it's when it's a luxury green beauty product. Would you be okay with receiving that, with knowing it was someone else's product? Yeah, we're just not there yet, but it's something I think we're conscious of and thinking, and I think we're all conscious brands up here. So, as technology advances, it's something we'll better incorporate into the future.
I love this conversation because it's a conversation that we get constantly bombarded with, and it's a conversation that we have in-house constantly. And it's just the idea that who wants a glass bottle in their shower? I mean, to me, that just seems like a disaster waiting to happen, because then I would be...
Waters break, I know.
Yeah, so it's tough. I mean, that's a tough thing. And then you talk about aluminum, which is more readily recyclable. But guess what? You're dealing with a poly liner inside the aluminum. So that's not a good option either. I mean, we talk about this 50 different ways to Wednesday, and Greg's got like a pit bull grip on it. So I would say stay tuned. Continued.
I think kind of 2 points real quickly. There are new emerging plastics that are completely petrochemical free. There's new bioplastics that are being produced. But because of the sensitivities, especially in products that contain rich emollient oils, those oils have the ability to break down plastics, so stability is a huge issue. But the beautiful thing about these materials is that they're endlessly recyclable. And the other side of it is that you're not drawing on the resources of the earth. And so we're really excited about this emerging trend as well. Secondly, again, we all have to be equally as responsible. But I think on the other side of the coin is it's really kind of exploding this is the single-use plastics that we've just become accustomed to that has really magnified the issue, coupled with the fact that our municipalities and our governments and even the very companies that we charge with recycling have eliminated their programs associated with recycling because they can't monetize it anymore. So I think there's really kind of a combination of everything. So we're really committed to finding solutions, but more importantly, being very responsible in our the way we approach and address the situation. So that's it for Innersense.
Thank you. I think we have time for one more question.
Hi. I've had the pleasure of speaking with May and Jenna's customer care teams, and I'm sure yours are on par. But they're amazing. They get back to you within sometimes minutes, which I can guess in running a small business or now growing businesses is really challenging. So how do you manage both an amazing company that makes amazing products, but also an amazing staff? It's pretty incredible. I just want to know more about that.
Oh, it's the thing I love the most. The most. You should just send an email to our customer service just for fun. Really. Ellie's in the back. Ellie is my favorite person in the world except my husband and my children. And she heads the team of Care Bears, we call them. It's our care team, care@Lindstrom.com, if you ever need it, which you will, just for fun. This is the part of the business that I take most seriously. We're not a skincare company, we are a love company, and we do that through delivering through the bottle. That's it. It's really simple. We are about service, we are about care, we're about love, we're about connection. And Ellie leads a team of 3 women who are just out of this world, amazing, and we hire for heart first. Sometimes there's language stuff that we have to work through. Sometimes it's like learning to type a little faster or stay a little more organized, or nobody knows how to work a spreadsheet. There's roadblocks that we have, but we hire for heart women who care so much. And our customer service team is built of women who've come from all kinds of different backgrounds, from all kinds of different autoimmune conditions, from health conditions, from really extreme skin conditions. And that is the basis, and it's where we invest. I put more money into our people on the ground who are physically making your products and who are sharing with you and educating with you and holding space for you in their hearts than I put in anything else. We don't have a single salesperson on our team. I've never spent 1 cent on advertising. We do not have any investors. You are our investors. Our money goes here. This is what you're investing in. So for me, this is like, it's my favorite thing. Send us emails.
So I
Sorry,
am
Ellie.
still in charge of my customer service because, as some of you know, I talk to you on Instagram, like on most days. So interacting with my clients and my customers is like, there's nothing better than I can do than interact with you and try to make you guys happy. So every email that comes through, I receive, and then I have to tell you, I am so grateful and blessed that I have the most incredible team, and nearly everyone has been with me since day one, since my kitchen when I started in West Hollywood. Those girls are still with me, so it's a team of women, and I really pride myself on saying that they've been with me like nearly 5 years, because it just shows you that the kind of bond that we have. And I want people to be happy to work with me, and I feel like if they're happy, then you guys will be happy also, because then we can create everything together. But yeah, your customer service, it's so important. If you don't have that, then what do you have? You have to keep your customers happy. So.
Go ahead. This is your area.
Oh, well, I mean, it's one of my favorite areas too, because I love my people. I just feel like we have an amazing company culture, and I think we work really hard at that. And it's something that I kind of I'm all about people, and I'm all about personal development and professional development and growing, because that's what we're here to do. We were all here, placed on this planet, to do a very beautiful and unique thing. And if I have anybody in my sphere, I hope that I am loving them and supporting them and giving them opportunity and developing them in any way that I can, because I just feel like that's part of my mission in life. And I feel like we have very heart-based people in our office, and I definitely I probably give the strangest interview on the planet, which includes asking people for their month and day that they were born, because I believe in the moon and the stars. And so anyway, I don't know. Is there anything you want to add? Yeah, call our office. Gabby will tell you a lot about hair. If you want to dish about your hair, call. She's there for you, and she will answer the phone and answer an email, and she can talk hair all day long. So that's what we do.
So yeah, human connection, touch, it's really critical for us. So we're equally as committed to the response time to consumers and answering questions. And I just love reading the reviews. It's just, yeah, it's humbling. So anyway.
My Instagram family, they're literally like my family. Like I see people, I see you. So it's like I love my Instagram family so much. But I will say this, if you're an entrepreneur, and May will tell you the opposite, because she is so loved if she gets a nasty comment having to prove the prices of her ingredients, and people have attacked her, and I've looked at it, and they've attacked me. The difference is she's very loving when she responds. I am not. I will not be bullied, and I will not take it. So there's two avenues you can take.
That's the fun spark, though. I've got my own spark. It just doesn't come out there.
I could be homicidal. It's good that it's virtual.
I'm the only person on my Instagram, too, and those of you who interact on there, like, that part I won't hand over. Everyone's like, you need help with that. I'm like, 3 a.m, still answering. But it's a big deal. This is, and I do see familiar faces, and I knew a lot of you were coming, and you told me you were coming and doing the class, and I'm so excited. This is the coolest thing. You are who build us. Yeah. We literally don't exist without you. It's not like a saying, it's true. Like it's very straightforward, and each of you in this room have contributed not just to our brands, my individual brand, their brands, but this whole space. You create this. This is in your hands. This future of beauty, it's yours, it's determined by you. And I think when we get to hop on and really be face-to-face with you, it's just such an honor. It really is just such an honor. You entrust us with your largest, most vulnerable, most public-facing organ, and you say, I trust you. That's massive, and I feel it to my core. So I'm just deeply grateful that you're all here and you're sharing this space with us. It's really, truly an honor.
And I'm so deeply grateful for all of you and all of you. It's such like a surreal experience, I guess, to be in LA and to have a room full of people, and we have more people joining us. So I just want to say, if you didn't get to ask your question, I do have to wrap it up just for time-wise, but these founders are here, and they're real people, and you can come and talk to them. Trust me, they are so nice. And we also have another founder who's not on the panel with us, but it is in the house. Leah from Leilani is here, so make sure to check out her booth. She's right there, and she has Hawaiian flowers to put in your hair. I'm just saying, what other beauty show do you get to go to where you get Hawaiian flowers in your hair? Yes. But I want to also just take 1 second, because this production took a lot to put on, and I really want to thank my team, because I have a small team as well. And we were here late last night setting up, moving chairs, moving furniture, all of that. So to my Citrine team girls, thank you so much. I also have, because I lived here before, I have a lot of friends here, hence my DJ best friend here. And another one of my really dear friends is the one that basically made this all happen. She's our event planner. Her name is Summer Barella. I need you guys to give a big round of applause for Summer Barella, because she's the one that made this shit happen. Really. I live in Arizona, and I couldn't have done this without her, so thank her so much. So we are going to wrap up. You guys can exit the drapes on either side. The reason for the drape is this is going to be turning into a lounge area. So all these chairs are going bye-bye, and we're moving a lounge in here. We have lunch that's provided by Flower Child, so it's yummy, yummy, yummy food. We have cocktails, we have drinks, we have water. You guys are all VIPs, which means that you get unlimited. So it's time to turn up and have a good time and get a facial and have some makeup done, get your hair done. So yeah, thank you guys so much for coming, and I will see you guys around. Yeah.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you.